document versus create. People aren't starting, they're just not making. They're thinking, they're pondering, they're strategizing, they're debating. A lot of people look at finished products. They look at LeBron today. They look at Kobe today. They look at Beyonce today. You know, the difference between understanding who you are versus who you wish you were. I mean, if you want to be respected and really known, show the fuck up. Enough listening, start doing shit. Don't be scared, and if you're scared, find somebody who's not scared. Make them your partner. Like, it's action, it's going, it's doing. And if you're passionate about something in your world, you can make a big difference. You've got to pump out content. Wine Library TV worked. And Steve, I look like a hostage in Iraq. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Wine Library TV. But here's where people that pump out content make a mistake. They care about the camera, and the lighting, and all that other horse crap. It means nothing. Everything I believe in was not possible 5 years ago. Anybody can get in the game and talk about the things they love the most, build a business around their passion. Hello everybody, this is Gary Vaynerchuk and this is my 120. Hey everybody, it's Gary Vaynerchuk, GaryVaynerchuk.com. I'm playing with airtime. Not really, it's down right now. You know, that's the whole promise that we never believed before, which was do what you love. You always heard do what you love, but you won't make as much money. You know, the game has changed. You know, we talk about all these products. Don't be scared to be multi-dimensional. You're not unfocused. You know, nobody in this world should define who you are. You can be so many things. You can crush it doing video blogging, and you can crush it doing blogging. I mean, it just comes down to what are you good at? I think that's been turned on its head. Do what you love, and you'll probably make more money than you could ever imagine. I think it's much smarter for you to talk to the world about your process of going through this than the advice that you think you should be giving them. I think documenting your journey on Medium, your own personal blog, YouTube. The ice bucket challenge. Bring it, mate. I know you're gonna love this. Holy, whoa! SoundCloud, Anchor, you know, on and on and on. Snapchat, on and on and on. Hey guys, I know I look like the Emperor from Star Wars right now, but of you going through this journey. I mean, it would be really cool to have content right now about when Vera Wang started learning, like literally learning how to create a dress, right? We're sitting where the gatekeepers are no longer in control. Guys, I was in my office in the dirty jers, right? And I started taping Wine Library TV. One of the great things about DailyVee is that D-Rock's around a whole lot, and some things are obviously gonna be for the show, but sometimes things come along that can stand alone, and you need to be thinking about documenting more than you need to be thinking about creating.
What do you think the appeal is of the daily show, DailyVee?
I think that I wish I documented all my truths to this level, because all the people that think I was smart about Twitter, they don't even know how much. And I think this will do that. Why do people always say stick to wine? Stick to what you know, stick to science, stick to cooking. Why do we always want other people to stick to? I don't want to stick to crap. You know what I want to stick to? I want to stick to what makes me happy and what I want to execute again. You know, that's what I want to do. You didn't think it was true that they were 15, 16 hours a day. You thought they were hyperbolized and they were 8 or 9. You didn't realize every minute was something. You didn't realize that it's every day. I wish I did this 7 years ago. I wish you got to see the last 7 years. Every minute, every day, always, forever. The world is changing, we're more connected, and your legacy, your maneuvering, your decision-making process has to start at your long-term legacy. Big picture always wins. If you're pumping out good shit, people will follow. But if you for a second, a half a second, don't believe in what you're doing, whether it's your personal brand or the product you represent, you need to get out now. Always think of the big picture, the legacy. Who are you going to be viewed at when it's all said and done? If I actually, from where I started, go on to buy a $4 billion sports organization, and I documented the entire journey, my words are motivating and I'm good at that. But the reason I do DailyVee and the reason I'm documenting so much is if I can put out a body of work 40 years from now that showed the process of a young man that put in the work, had the vision, did it the right way, tried to help people along the way because he was trying to build the biggest building in town by building it, not by tearing everybody else's buildings down. And then I actually accomplish it. Well, that becomes a real great American dream story. And this is why I want to build a massive business, because I want to teach the world that you can build $1 billion empire on good. Like, there's no reason this unfortunate narrative that affected a lot of my friends of Steve Jobs, like it became the move to be a dick because you're gonna get the best work out of people. I'll tell you right now, I'm 40. So far, here's what I got for you. People work way better when you deploy honey than vinegar. I've gotten much better work out of people because they're guilted to let me down versus being scared of me. Get the fuck out of here. You should start a pillar show, whether it's, vlogging I think is very fascinating. You know, you should be doing Instagram stories and Snapchat stories at scale. You should be putting out 7 to 25 pieces of content on both those platforms a day. And let me explain how. Don't go fancy. Document versus create. It's a big shift. When I say 7 to 25, you say, my God, how do I produce 7 to 25 meaningful things that will have me respected? Versus document. You gotta put out stuff. And you gotta fabricate it. Like when you're like, I still can't believe how many people that live in New York don't use New York people. If I were you and I had an hour right now, go in the fucking park right now, like, I don't know, like go back to your basketball room, stand outside the garden right there and be like, what do you think about the Knicks' upcoming season? Yeah, interview 4 people, one person gets into a thoughtful conversation. He was the former ball boy in 1957, it's a nice story, and boom. You see where I'm going? People aren't starting. So you can't create, distribute. There's no excuse for not talking to the world. It just doesn't have to be your thoughts and words every time. My friends, the key to content success is you've got to start documenting instead of creating. Let me tell you how. Just start.
Welcome, you guys. What?
That is one powerful video, man.
Exactly. So what did you get out of it, Amin?
Just start lah.
And also for you guys watching, I mean, what he's basically saying is document, not create. When we create, we're thinking too much. Although, you know, we've got an artist tonight, she's probably coming from creation. Okay. So yeah, document, guys. Okay. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to POPCON's Just Langa podcast show. And we're on our, how many episode, Amin?
Isn't this our 49th? Is it? Is it
probably. I forgot to update. Wait. Yes, 49.
No.
Double.
It's 48. It's 48. 2 more, right. 2 more to 50, right? 2 more to go.
All right. Welcome, LinkedIn family. Welcome, Facebook family. Welcome, YouTube family. We've got so many people in the house. Who do we have? We've got Lina Ali. Is this your first time here? Let us know. If you guys are new, type in newbie. If you guys are a regular POPCON, I mean, type in POPCON. You know who you are. Team POPCON. Let us know. We've got a guy, Afjal, tuning in from India today on LinkedIn. So welcome, you guys. We've got a lot of artists here because they're excited with the title of the topic kind of thing, right? Okay. So if you're joining us for the first, sorry?
Just to add to this, we actually received a message like 3 weeks ago because when we talked about Lori coming in, the person decided to like, hey, when is this happening? I've never had that before, you know, when we promote something. And,
said that.
Yeah. Somebody sent a message to us in Messenger.
Wow.
I want
Lori,
to register for this. Yeah. So
wow.
I'm like, this is so cool.
Lori, check that out. Okay.
Check that out.
We're gonna be bringing her in a bit, but you know, if you're tuning in for the first time, you're joining us for the first time. Just Langa is where we help you build your authority, impact, and income. So oh, sorry, wrong script. Let me do that again. Just Langa is where we cover the latest.
I didn't screw up today, okay? I didn't. It's her today.
It's my bad. I mean, Ipo, my internet sucks, so I'm going to be in and out probably, but let's not pray for that. But anyway, Just Langa is where we cover the latest on social media, entrepreneurship, content creation, and tech to help you guys position yourself as business influencers on social media. I got that right. In other words, we are building Southeast Asia's business influencers by building your authority, impact, and income. So if this is something that excites you, you are at the right place. Now, who do we have in today? We've got CA, Keanu, Michelle is tuning in from Japan, right?
Our AI is back. Our AI is back. Our AI has been dead for the past few weeks. She's back again.
Welcome. Samantha's tuning in. Lena newbie. Welcome. Jane, regular. Welcome back. If you're tuning in, you're newbie.
Give us some like, give us some love.
Give us some love. And we've got CA from LinkedIn. Anybody else? Ridwan is on Facebook. We've got Haniza coming in. Yep. So, Krish, you're tuning in for the first time. So welcome. Also on LinkedIn. Okay. So now, what we want to do is, if you're new, please give permission to StreamYard so we know who you are. And when we highlight your comment, it'll be easier for us to identify you. Instead, it'll be seen as Facebook user. Okay. Kind of thing. All right. So now, I'm excited about tonight because we get to speak to an abstract artist. This is the first time we're getting an abstract artist based in Toronto who creates content, and she's got a YouTube channel, which is about 16,000 followers. And she sells her art through her Instagram account, which has about 60,000 followers. That's like freaking amazing, right?
She's a business influencer. That's it.
Yeah, she's a business influencer. She is what we want you guys to be.
She may not admit this, but you know what? She's a business influencer. In our definition, yeah.
So, Tan Singh, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Welcome. We're excited to have you here. So, some of the questions we're going to look into is, how does she sell her painting online? How the heck do you even do that? And how did she transition from hobby to full-time? And how did she grow her YouTube channel? Most importantly, how does she manage to sell the painting online? And what does she know that can help us to sell other things online? Because we might be doing other things, but if you can do it with paintings, can you imagine what else opens up for us, kind of thing? So all that is happening right now on Just Langga. So if you think this topic is going to be amazing, you want to share it out with your friends, put it out on your feed, tag your friends, share it out, and tag them out, please do that now, okay? Kind of thing. Angela, welcome. Now, what about you guys? What are you excited to learn from our speaker today? Let us know in the comments so that we will ask those questions. And Popcorn Bot is saying kaya mode, sell online. Yeah. Yay. Well done. Okay, now, before we introduce you to the speaker, and while we're waiting for you guys to let us know what you want to learn, what you want to get out of today's session, let's talk a little bit about what's going to be happening for the next 2 weeks in the PopConverse. Because, we have like our own little Marvel universe. Now, if I can't hear you, Amin, did you say it?
Exactly, let's do that, yes.
Okay, got it. Now, if this is your first time tuning into PopCon, we don't just have our regular Just Langga show every Thursday, but we're also building Southeast Asia's business influencers. So we have a special Facebook group where we go live every Monday at 8:30 Malaysia time, and we teach people how to build your authority in a profitable business on LinkedIn. Now, in other words, every Thursdays we have Just Langga, and then every Monday we have our weekly trainings on authority on LinkedIn, which is the group here. And if there's something you want to position yourself in, then wait till you see what we have in store for you. All right, happening on 5th April, Monday, on authority on LinkedIn training, we've got how we get leads using our content attraction strategy. Do we have the poster on that, Amin? Okay, so this is a mega secret that we're sharing with you, so you want to be there. And then on 6th April, we do this once a month. Popcorn Bites is back. And this time we've got the #1 network marketing coach on, he's #1 on Google, right? Kind of thing.
Yes.
Welcome,
Afzan. He's the #1 network marketing coach in Malaysia, #1 rank in Google at this moment.
Yeah, in Southeast Asia, I think. So Keanu Chu, not Keanu Reeves, is sharing about networking and storytelling, converting connections and contents into profit and not spamming people, because that's the #1 thing that a lot of network marketers do, right? And then on 8th April, Just Langga is back with Nadine Joy. She's going to be sharing about strategies for leaders and how to uncover your purpose, heal. I'm interested in that. Heal. What does she mean by heal? And share your gifts with the world. All right. So that's on Thursday next week. And then on 12th April, we are back with the Authority on LinkedIn training, where we're going to share a secret client journey, how she basically rose from the ashes after her world came crashing right during the pandemic. Right? I mean, and then in the same week on 15th April, Thursday, Geeta Kandaya is back, ISAN IP expert, and we're going to be talking about copying from the internet. Are you doing it? If you're doing it, what can you do about it? How to get out of it, kind of thing. All right. So these are important if you guys are going to position yourself as a business influencer. So loads of amazing stuff. If you're loving it, let me know what you like. If you want to be kept updated, please join us on all our social media. Okay. Popcorners in the house.
Yeah, join us in all our social media, guys, right? Just to
All
make it easy for you guys to understand this, we go live 2 times a week. Monday, we are always on the other group where we focus a lot on LinkedIn. And on Thursday, we are on this group where we focus a lot on anything has to do with a lot of things. Okay.
All right. Okay. Got it. So loads of amazing stuff. So that's what's happening in the Popcorn verse. But tonight it's time to transition to your dream and make money doing it. I know Popcorn chatbot is dreaming of making money. So are you ready to monetize your passion? And let's just langa with it. Intro video. I'm in.
Popcorn.
Welcome back, Popcorners. Popcorn. Welcome back. I am Nina.
And I'm Amin, and welcome to season 2, episode 11. And this is video 48. Wow.
Woo! Wow. Not bad. Good job.
1 year plus.
You can count.
Welcome back.
You can.
Yes.
Amin. All right.
I can count.
So we build Southeast Asia's business influencers by building your authority, impact, and income on social media. So welcome. Now tonight, we're going to be talking about an abstract artist based in Toronto and how she sells art online and became a full-time artist. We've got Dr. Nurul Iyana saying, group ni best sangat. Thank you. We love you. All right. So as usual, if you guys have any questions, please let us know in the comment section. I mean, there's a couple of people who already have questions, right? Kind of thing. Do you want to?
So there's a lot of them, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of questions coming up. Hey guys, relax, chill. Let's introduce the guest.
Okay. Well, I did tell them to ask questions. How she managed to her energy to continue communicating with her fans. Love that. Facebook user. I wonder who you are. Okay, got it. So our guest tonight is an established Canadian abstract artist that specializes in large-scale artwork for homes, corporate offices, and boutique businesses. Now, she's exhibited in Toronto, and she's sold art to private collections all over the world. And in a few short years, she grew and evolved as an accomplished modern artist. Her work is always evolving. Her art is a reflection of her personal thoughts, emotions, struggles, and triumphs. With each brushstroke, she's releasing a part of herself, cleaning and purging what is no longer necessary and opening herself up to what should be. I love this. You can purge and still make money. This is brilliant. Now, she also has a YouTube and Instagram channel with more than 73,000 followers where she talks about things art related, like turning an art hobby into a full-time career, how to market original paintings, and how to become the artist you've always wanted to be. So every now and again, you can also watch her paint a few abstract paintings. So ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight is none other than Canadian abstract artist, YouTuber, and Instagram influencer, Lori Mirabelli. Please welcome her. Welcome.
Hi.
Okay, I'm going to put it on top, okay? Let me be down
cool.
here.
Okay. Lori, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you because it's our first time having an artist.
Well, I really appreciate you asking me to come. I'm really excited, and it's amazing. It's your show looks so much fun. I'm going to have to subscribe myself.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, it'll be early in the morning for you. Okay.
Yes.
So welcome to the show. We're honored to have you. Again, if you guys are tuning in, please let us know if you have any questions, just type away. I'm hearing a lot of feedback, but yeah. Oh, and you guys want to follow her. So POPCON chatbot is putting all her links up so you guys can follow Lori. Okay, let's start with the basic, Lori. Very quickly, could you share with us a little bit about you, like how you got started? And you weren't always an artist, right? You were doing something else. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I think I'm going to take out the word think. I know that I was always an artist from the very beginning. That's a given. I was always into things that I wasn't supposed to be into, and I drove my father crazy because he had a tool bench that he came home one day from work, and I had found his rivet gun, which puts little circle seal things, and his whole bench was riveted. I was making cool little design patterns at a very young age, and so. My parents never encouraged me to go into art. They were really concerned about the fact that I was going to be broke all my life and never have any money if I were, pursue art. And so I just ended up finding my way through like college and university. And I studied psychology, and I went into child protective services. So completely different from art, but that job, again, I think also prepared me for where I am today about, being able to connect with people on a different level and treating people with respect and kindness and giving back. And so in midst of all of that, I was always still like in 2008, I think for me is when I first started saying, enough is enough, because I was constantly redecorating my house and painting my walls. Like, who paints their house every 2 years? That's what I was doing. Because I had
okay.
Right? I had an itch to create, and I didn't realize that I should be putting the painting onto canvas. And so it wasn't until I was trying to finish off my university degree while I was still working full time. My career counselor had told me that the art program was open, and through that I realized that I could finish my degree with some art classes. And so it was a professor that I had. He was the head of the art department who really gave me my first bit of encouragement, saying, "What are you doing studying psychology? You should have been in the art program." And I'm like, "What? Really?" He's like, "Yes." And so he made me a promise, or he made me make him a promise that on my graduation day that I would still continue doing art. And that's exactly what I did. Like, exactly. I went out and bought supplies and said, I'm gonna try and see what comes out of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's when I switched. I was more
amazing
into realism drawing. And then for some reason I decided to go to abstracts, which was, I don't know where that came from.
I didn't have a guidance. I didn't have a professional
but
guidance
initially,
I wish I had one of those.
but so you actually studied fine art, right?
Yeah. I was always a drawer, a sketcher. I had so many friends in high school that would have little tiny drawings, because I used to sketch with a pen, and they were like, "Oh, you can't draw that. You can't." And whenever I hear the word "can't," then it's on, right? Because then I'm like, "Oh no, I can." Watch.
Wow, I love that.
And so I would
love that. I love that. That's like,
yeah, I'm really competitive. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Okay. This is Jane. I have to say something. Jane says, can you see?
Tell her Malaysians
Jane
are fine.
Says that tell her
Malaysians
she
are
knows
fun
Jane
and kind.
because she's got friends who are living in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. One day I must visit for sure.
Definitely.
Are you okay?
So we've got a couple of artists in the house.
Yeah.
Am I disappearing?
No, it's just like you're lagging.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay,
So
so
Lina,
Lina is saying, love your paintings, Lori.
Thanks, Lina.
Okay, and this is I am May. May's an artist, and she's saying, hi, Lori. Hi, Nina and Amin. She's been waiting for this episode for you to come on.
That's exciting. That's really exciting.
Yep. Okay, cool. So, and then you kind of took a leap of faith. You sold your house and you moved to the big city. Wasn't that scary?
Yeah.
Taking that leap of faith, selling your house, moving to the big city. I would have like, how did you manage that?
It was a bit of a, but the thought of, no offense to all my friends and family who still live in the small town of Sault Ste. Marie. It's a beautiful city. It's surrounded by water. If you love the outdoors, it's the place to be, but it wasn't the place for me. And I always felt that there was something else for me out in the world. And so when I finally made that, I just thought like becoming a full-time artist wasn't going to happen if I stayed where I was. And this was my last opportunity to actually do what I wanted to do. And everything, you know, when you ask the universe for something and you do the work and put the steps to make it happen, it honestly is just like that. Everything happened for me so quickly and so easily, not because I was lucky, but because I did the work. I did the work. Right. I had already not transferred. I had to reapply to the same position in Southern Ontario. I got the position. I listed my house. I got the exact price I wanted. It sold within 2 weeks. I packed my stuff, and the person that came to move me was a friend that I hadn't seen since I was a young person, who was also linked to the town where I was moving to. It was such a weird, thing that happened. And so I just knew it was meant to be. I wasn't scared at all.
Wow.
It just, because in my heart, I knew that there was something greater for me. And when I actually, came out with my decision to all my friends back home, so many of them said, it's about time you left this city. We knew that you were destined for bigger and better things. So it was just myself not believing in me that I was ready to go.
I have a question on that. I think this is a profound moment for a lot of people, right? That tipping point when you decided that I'm going to go. So what was the motivation? What was the drive? How do you know for certain that at that moment, at that time, you say, you know what? There you go. I'm going to sell everything.
Do or die. Yes.
Yeah. I like to settle. I didn't want to settle. I had a great life. I was going to be debt free by the time I was 40 years old, with a permanent position, making great money, but I didn't want to settle. I think, is that your question, Amon? Am I answering it correctly?
In a way, yeah. So
I didn't want to just lay in bed at night and going, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have tried. I wanted to say I tried. If I didn't succeed, at least I tried.
Yeah. Were you scared at the time? Were you
I wasn't scared. And normally when I got here, I think I was a little bit overwhelmed just because of the roads, the highways. I still have not adjusted to that. It's actually gotten worse, my fear of driving, because people drive here crazy. Torontonians learn how to drive.
They're Malaysians, probably.
You know what helped me? My friends from work on my party, when the goodbye party that they had for me, they purchased me a GPS for my car so that I could punch in the addresses and drive everywhere. And once I got that, I'm like, I'm good. I could do this. It just opened up a whole world, right? So thank goodness for technology. It takes the fear of moving, right? Because now you know how to get places. So I wasn't afraid at all.
I love that. And you want to know what's really funny? Because in the post that I did of you today promoting tonight's show, I actually said, when you really want something, the universe will conspire you to get you what you want. And you said exactly that. And I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. A lot of people think that, it's about just thinking about everything you want. It's about doing everything you want. You have to put the work behind that phrase and that statement. Things just don't happen like that.
Yeah.
And just to give you an example of how much I prepare, even when I moved to Southern Ontario, before I started my new job, I even drove, because it was about a 45-minute drive from where I was living. I even drove there by myself just to make sure I knew where I was going. I knew where to park. I knew where to drive. Like, I always prepare. Everything I do, I prepare. So I knew that first day of work, I knew how to get to work. I knew where the building was. I knew how to drive there. So preparation is key.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. So which goes into my next question. Looking back, what do you think, if you could list down what you think, what you did that work, that if someone tonight who's listening, what advice would you give them, or what caution would you tell them? What is the mindset that they need to have? to be able to pursue their dream? What would it be?
I think you need to believe in yourself, first of all. And I'm going to say this, and until you do this like over and over, repeating things over and over really do help solidify things for yourself. So see yourself in the future doing what you want to do. That's, I think, step number one, is see the actualization of what you are dreaming about. And now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, good. What was the question again, Nina? This is what happens when you get old, is you forget questions. Oh, what they.
I know, I get it as well. So don't worry about it. So, yeah, what was the things that you did right that you can advise someone today?
Yeah, and you have to prepare. Do your research. I can't stress this enough. I think, sometimes it's frustrating for me to think that other people don't do research. When I say research, I mean, just like pick up a phone, ask a question, Google. Google's your best friend. I always say that on my YouTube channel. Google is your best friend. You can find any answer you need on the internet. That's the whole joy of having this information network. And so, I did research as to where I wanted to live. What was the agency like? How can I transfer? How can I get a job there? How much money am I going to need to buy a house? And so I looked at all of my financial situation. That whole year before I even made the transition, I made sure I was going debt free. I limited everything of my spending. All of my artwork money that I made went to paying off my debt so that I had nothing to worry about. And I think that's really important, because debt sometimes can scare us. And the last thing I would want someone to do is take a leap of faith when they have too much debt. And I think just take baby steps. You have to set your goal. That's number one. I list and itemize what that goal is, and then put all the steps before of how to attain the goal. I think it's a simple recipe.
Yep. I think what sorry?
Definitely it is. Yeah, Nina, continue, Nina. You're lagging.
I'm lagging. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. But basically what you did was you visualized it, you manifested it, and then you researched so that you can feel, and you kept attracting it, and it becomes even more real every step you go. So I love this. This is amazing. Thank you for that advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So today, Lori.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I was just going to add one more thing.
No, go on.
And I think for me,
please do.
The reason why I wasn't fearful of any of that is because I had seen myself there for so long. Like, I had been preparing for it. When you see yourself in that position, by the time you get there, you feel like you've been there forever already. So there is no fear involved, right? That's how strong visualization is.
Love it. I think that's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, now today, Lori, what is it that you do today? How do you work with your clients?
How do I work? Well, every client is different. That's a given, right? And in terms of like selling paintings online, I can talk about like being customer service is so important, and taking that a little bit deeper. It's about actually being real with someone. Even though they're online, it doesn't mean that you don't treat that person like as a computer system. It's a real person on the other end of that computer. So have a dialogue with them, interact with them. I really have encouraged people who have been following me is for them too, to grow their own following, is answer the questions that people are asking you. When someone puts a comment down, reply back to them, and reply back to them with intention, not just that quick little emoji and be done with it. Sometimes I don't want to tell people this too much, but I sometimes click onto their profile to see who they are and see their artwork. It's just for me that it brings in a flood of, can you give me a review of my portfolio, or can you give me critiques of my work? But I'm not in a position to do that, and I don't want to take that on. So I don't tell people that I look at their work sometimes because I can only handle so much.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Wow. I mean, you had a question?
No, I'm actually going to the website right now, and I'm very impressed with what you have.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, very impressed with what you have.
I love cool your stuff. There's quite a few people who love your work,
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah. Okay, so today, Lori, you do commission paintings. You also sell your paintings online. They're also available in galleries, right?
Correct.
And you also do workshops?
I did. Well, this is the other thing that I maybe should say to people when you're wanting to become a full-time artist is don't think just in a narrow, singular view that you can have one stream of income. And so I was a little bit, because I'm a planner and I want to make sure that this is the right move for me.
And you're a Googler.
And I'm a Googler. I love Googling. It's my favorite thing to say.
Yes.
Google it. Is I wanted to make sure that, let's say something happens and the whole, world decides that nobody wants a Mirabelli original anymore. What am I going to do? Right. And so I thought, well, maybe, if things go really bad for me, oh, that's you. I thought, oh, what did I touch?
No.
That maybe
I just want to show this as you're talking. Don't worry about this.
Okay.
This is amazing stuff.
I thought maybe if worse came to worse, that I could go online and maybe I could teach other people how to paint or how to improve their own art. And then we were also in the pandemic, right? And so I needed something else to do. I was at home all the time. I live alone. And I thought it would just be really cool to maybe try that out. And it was extremely successful, more than I thought it would ever be.
Okay.
But then with all of that, my career was really kind of exploding at the time. And I still have one course on my site that people can still purchase, but I haven't been able to do a follow-up just because there's just so much. And then I also felt a little bit guilty. There's always a part of me that feels guilty. I feel so grateful right now for the love that everybody has been giving me, following me on my channel, my YouTube channel, that I just thought maybe it would be better for me because, thank the universe, we have to be grateful, is to have a channel on YouTube where I'm actually just giving free advice and do that, right? And I thought that kind of feels better and more in line with my personality and how I am as a person. And so that's how the YouTube channel came onto the scene.
Wow. So the YouTube channel came because you were grateful to the universe and you just wanted to give advice to people.
It's true. Yes. Because my whole job for 21 years, my position was about helping people and trying to support families and to support children. And then when I left my job and I resigned in October, I was feeling that I didn't want it to be take, right? Make work, take money. And I was just feeling I needed to give back a little bit. And so the YouTube channel feels really good, and it fills my soul because I love helping. So that's
okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you do stuff to fulfill your soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny. I had a coworker a former coworker who wrote into me and said, I just watched your YouTube channel. She goes, it's no surprise to me at all that you're still giving back.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. I love this. Okay, we have a question from IMA, who's an artist. She said, Lori, how do you start with an abstract piece? She tried. It's super difficult because you're literally starting on a complete blank canvas. Do you just start with a random stroke, splash, and then followed by more movements? What's your process like?
Well, this is the thing that some of the critics who are out there, I call them the haters, because there are a few haters. That's just the way the world is, right? It's balanced.
The world works.
Have balance. There's some people that think abstract art is extremely simple and it's very simplistic, and that when they look at a finished piece, they have the idea that anybody can do that. But the thing is, I always say, when you're drawing a landscape or you're drawing a tree or a flower, you have an idea of what that flower or tree is going to look like because you have reference there. But when you're creating an abstract piece, it's more about emotion and feeling and understanding how to manipulate paint and layer so that the piece becomes cohesive and interesting at the very end. There's so many facets that go into an abstract painting to make you stand back and say, wow, that is a great piece. Yes, Kooning is a genius for sure. So it's all of the components. There's line work, there's form, there's composition, there's value. Everything goes into an abstract painting. And so when I first start, we call it like dirtying up the canvas, where you just kind of go in and start making random marks. And this is where the critics will come in. That's where they'll say, oh, my daughter can do that. Well, absolutely, they can do that. But that's just the initial layer of the painting. That's just for us. That's us getting warmed up. Like that's Usain Bolt on the track field, just, stretching and getting his muscles warm. It has nothing to do with the final composition. And so it just gives you that ability. So I always say, just start with some random marks. And I keep using both hands. Not that I'm ambidextrous, but I don't always want to put the pressure on one arm. So I recommend that artists whenever you can, use your non-dominant hand. So you give your other hand a break. And start with marks and pencils and colors and just play around a little bit. And then you go over, you keep building on those layers. Every layer adds to the next layer. And there's different ways of painting and making an abstract. So I always say, study the greats. You have to go back and through history to understand the abstract artists that came before us and study what you're drawn to and try and figure out why that painting makes keeps your interest, and then decide what kind of an abstract artist you want to be. That will help guide you when you are, creating your own body of work.
Right.
Love that. Because you were taking time to find your body of work as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm just curious to know, how often do you create stuff? I mean, I always had this idea that when you are an artist, it takes some time for you to do something. Like one art would take 7 months for you to create. Is that true, or is it just a belief?
Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm a truthful person from the start. So, and I wish I didn't always have that about me. But I think in the beginning when I was learning how to paint, absolutely paintings would take longer because I never got it right the first time or the second or third or the fourth. And so it would take me hours of practice. But once I perfected a piece and understand how to layer a certain way, then I can, I always have to put in quotations, if I'm having a good painting day, because it's not a guarantee that when I go to the canvas, I'm going to be able to paint that day, right? So if the painting is going well, then, I can do a couple of, maybe 2 large pieces a week if I'm having a good day. If I'm doing just ones, again, if I'm having a good day, I can do all 3 in one day. And I mean just little ones.
Wow.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah,
super fast.
It's fast because you get to the point. Just like someone who's knitting a sweater, when you're first learning to knit, you can't knit very fast. And then you get to the point where you do it enough, you don't even have to look at your needles. You're just watching TV, and next thing you know, your sweater's done, right? It's the same concept. The more you do, the better you get.
Right. And how do you
It's
balance?
the same with content.
It is.
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
with content. How do you balance between creating stuff and actually selling it?
Well, that's a very good question. That's the magical question is what people want to know, right? Is how, every you can create anything, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to go to the next level and sell it. And I like to study things. I like to understand things. And so for me, what happened this last year, I had 14,000 followers on Instagram in March of 2020. And now I have, what did you say, Nina? I'm going on to almost 60,000 that I'll hit, probably in the next couple of weeks. So that's a massive jump in a very short period of time. And I had to sit back and try and put some perspective into that. Why was it me? Why did my Instagram blow up? What was I doing differently than other people? And I really think what people saw was that I was extremely passionate about what I was doing. And that I wasn't doing it in, I don't know what other word I could use, but a cheesy way. There was an authenticity about what I was doing. And I think people saw through that. With Nina, I think that's how you probably decided to ask me to come on to your show. I was fortunate enough to get a gallery in Denmark through the pandemic, only through Instagram. And I think, again, it's because he saw how passionate I was about the work I was creating. And I think when you're real and you're authentic and you're doing this because you love to do it, people naturally see through that. And then there's the whole other thing about there's that, you have to have that. But then I did the research behind that, right? The work behind that. And that was, I prepared my website. I switched my website over to Shopify. I was with Wix, but I had found out through my research that the Shopify platform was better than Wix in terms of speed, so that Google would support your website better by ranking it higher because it was faster. And then I found out that there was this whole SEO thing, search engine optimization, right? Which I was like, what is this? I don't know anything about this. And when I realized that I could go on to Google and actually search to find out how well my website ranked, I was like 0. And I was like, what? 0? And I wasn't happy with that. And so I thought, there are people in the world who actually do this for a profession. They will overhaul your website. They will have you ranked in Google, and you're going to pay them a ton of money to do this. And it's not just a one-time thing. In order to keep your site ranked, you have to constantly monitor your site and keep it working and functioning properly so that you show up in search. And I thought there's no way I want to pay to do that. That I'm sure I can learn how to do this myself. So that took me hours, and I would work a full day of work, and every night after work I sat at my computer and I learned. And I found out that I can subscribe to the same sites that these people do and have my own site where I can go on and I can research and I can see which words are working for me, which words are not working for me. And I learned how to do it myself. So when I have my keywords and you type in certain things, I'm within the top 3 of ranking. And so that's when everything really started to explode, because the traffic started coming my way. So when people in Toronto were looking for an abstract artist, I was coming up.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
So so that's amazing. So the first thing that you realized you did wrong was the name of the website, you said? Lori.
I should have put a keyword. I guess so many people have wrote in that, yes, I can get another domain name and I can, reroute it to come to my name. But you should, if you're picking a domain name, make sure you pick the right one the first time, because, you don't want to I don't want to have to pay for 2 domain names. I'm all about saving money too, right? So pick a keyword with your name, right? So like Lori Mirabelli fine art, it could have been just as simple as that. So that when people are looking for fine art, it would have given me one more plug for ranking in Google.
Right.
Okay. Instead of just Lori Mirabelli, right? Kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
So
Fantastic.
So
hang on. We're going to go into the questions because we need to honor the title of the show, kind of thing. Lena, we'll definitely get to your questions in a bit, and May as well. Yeah. So now, just to get everything on the same page, what you're doing now is you're selling your paintings online, right?
Yes.
What is it that a lot of people don't understand about this? And what do you want people to know? Is it only for paintings, or can I have other hobbies and still monetize my business online?
I think online businesses is where it's at right now. If the pandemic hasn't done that for you, hasn't showed you that the online platform is where you need to be, you're missing out on a huge market. I know for me, I've been, I would say I'm modernized. I have done online shopping for years. It's just the thing that I do. And so many other people are moving to the online platform. So if you aren't online, and if you don't have a website that works well with Google, if you haven't looked into search engine optimization, all of that stuff, it's going to be harder for you to be seen online. And I think you can't just look at it from having one stream, like, oh, I have a Facebook business account and that's it. It's about having all of those multiple streams coming in and marketing yourself online. So, there's the Twitter account, there's LinkedIn, there's Pinterest, there's Instagram, TikTok. I'm going to say it right now. I will never do TikTok. It's just too much. And I've been told, do TikTok. But I think what people need to understand is, in order to sell your product, whatever your product is, it doesn't have to be art, is the number one thing is your photos. You have to have engaging photos. You have to make someone stop in their tracks when they're looking online and want to find out more information. And my best advice for that is look at other accounts that are doing well and see why you stopped at their account. What was it that drew you in about their photographs? And then try and recreate something in your own niche. So for me, what I think transpired was I had never really shown my face on my Instagram. I hate being in front of the camera. I don't like it. And I know that it's a funny thing because now I'm on the camera all the time, but it's different because for me, the fear was somebody else holding the camera and looking at me. Right here, I feel like there's nobody in control of the camera but me. It all comes down to control for me. There's no doubt about it. And so when I realized that I wasn't afraid of an unmanned camera, then I was fine. So I bought a little gadget, a little remote control, where I can take 100 photos of myself holding one painting and pick one that I actually like and post that onto Instagram. That opened up everything too. So I was not just doing one thing. I upped my games when it came to my photographs. And I upped the amount of times that I was posting on social media. I increased that to make sure it was daily. I also was connecting with people online. I was showing them I was a real person. I was a human being. I was funny. I was friendly. I was engaging. And I wanted to know about them as well as sharing myself. And I think too, the other one was not just sticking with the one line of income. So starting the online workshops just to see how they would go got me a whole stream of people as well. And then and I still keep in contact with some of them. So it's really kind of cool that, some semi friendships, even though they're all over the world, have grown from that. And then the YouTube brought me a whole host of people who had never even knew I existed. So it's a, little pods of yourself everywhere, and so eventually it all comes to one.
I'm gonna hold on. I'm curious to know, because you said something about taking good photos, right? and look at other people's work and all of that. But I would like to know your point of view on this. What would be the secret sauce of a good photo based on your point of view?
What would be the good what of a photo?
What would be a sauce?
Oh,
yeah.
Edit your photos. I think that one of the secrets that I just found, because I watch other people's YouTube videos all the time. I'm still learning, even though I am where I am today. There is way more information than I can learn, and so I had learned from her, and I actually do believe it because I started to try it out myself. Mm-hmm. Is adjust the. It's hard to do with paintings because you don't want to alter the colors, right? You still have to keep the paintings natural, but the warm photos, like this, what's it called? The
warm, I think.
Yeah, warm or cool. So you want your photos to be on the cool side, so you get more of the blue tones, blue and the pink tones rather than the yellow tones. And so the algorithms, I'm hearing. I don't know if this is true because nobody really knows what the algorithm's like, but they like photos on the cool side, which truly, if you look at some of the higher end Instagrammers, you can actually see that. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. And so lately I've posted a couple of photos on the cool side. I've altered them so that they're a little bit brighter than what they should normally be, and then a little more on the blue tinge, and they have done better. So I would say that's a great secret, is no more of these warm photos where it just looks like you're always in this sun.
Cool. Wow. Okay. Got it.
I might apply that to my profile photo too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's fantastic. I love that. Okay. So let's get straight into the topic. So you now, you now sell your stuff online. And because of this, when was it that it really made a change? What was happening that got you onto, like, that people started noticing you, and when your paintings started selling like hotcakes, I guess?
Yeah. What was the tipping point?
Yeah, what was the tipping point that you did right?
Well, it was the pandemic helped. That was the first thing, because I was still working full time, and so when the pandemic hit in March, we were all working from home at that point, right? We were no longer allowed to go into the office. So I had gained 2 hours of my day because I had an hour commute there and an hour commute home. So I spent those 2 hours painting and in the evening, because as soon as I was done work at 4:30, well, then I just went right to the other business, And so I was able to capture about 3 extra hours a day by posting or painting. And the more I was painting, the more I was able to post more photographs on my internet. And because I was home during the day, my lunch hour, I used as an opportunity to take photos during the daylight. So all of those little tiny extra things that I got to do that I normally wouldn't be able to do because I was at an office an hour away, I took advantage of every second that I had during this pandemic. And so when I noticed that I paid attention, right? I always analyze everything. When I was posting more, I thought my engagement is going up on my Instagram. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see where else I can take this. Then I upped my game by improving my photographs. And then I was like, whoa, look at the engagement was coming at me so much. So then it just became, okay, well, this is good. Where else can we go? What else can I do? Right. And then I was going for, I was having surgery. I not only during the pandemic did I quit my job, but I also had to have surgery. I was one of the first surgeries that they were able to do after the pandemic. Like, they opened up. I had to have my gallbladder out. And then I got to keep the momentum going, right? So what can I do during my recovery from my surgery so that I could keep learning and trying to master this online thing? And that's when I built the course for painting online. And so it was the second week of my surgery of recovering. I think I was day 3 of I had surgery on the Wednesday, and by Saturday I was back online teaching, which probably wasn't a good idea.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really about being inventive and trying to maximize your time. And again, this is what I love to do. So it's not work for me. This has been a joy and a gift, and you have to see it that way. You can't be like, this is so much work and I don't want to do it. This is a gift. So you have to enjoy it.
Okay, I have a question. So before the pandemic, where were you at with your Instagram account and your YouTube? And then now, where are you?
So there was no YouTube channel before the pandemic, right?
Okay.
And I was about 14,000 followers in March on Instagram.
Okay.
So now,
and how often were you posting?
Maybe once every 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
Okay. And when the pandemic hit, what was different specifically?
I posted every day.
Okay. Daily
Every
content?
day. At least twice a day, every day.
Oh, wow. Twice a day.
Wow,
Okay.
twice a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was pretty structured by that. I never missed a day ever. At least I don't think. Maybe one day. And then YouTube. I started YouTube sometime in the summer, but it was just, I hadn't put like my thought process to it. I started the channel and I posted a couple of my older painting videos. But then I thought it would be cool to visually, right? It was all about it's a visual platform. So I ordered some really large canvases that I had no buyers for at all. And I thought that it would be really cool, a photo opportunity for me to paint these paintings. And that helped my Instagram as well, because I was able to stand next to my artwork and have it tower over me. So I went for the visual look. And then it was also the challenge. I knew I had a large commission coming up. And so for me, this was 2 steps. One, it was cool to look at on Instagram, but then it was also practice for me painting really large. So there's always a couple of reasons why I do things. And then the goals I set for 2021 was to get monetized on YouTube. So I had finally shared that with my Instagram group at the very end, at the very start in January. I had sent out a message saying, hi, everyone, I want to give back. This is my goal for 2021 was to get a YouTube channel started. And boy, I can't even think. January, February, I think within 6-8 weeks, I was monetized. It was crazy fast.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay, that's amazing.
I'm studying your YouTube channel, and what I noticed is that you've only been like super active like 3 months ago.
Yeah, crazy.
And you went home to 16,000. This is
amazing. Lori, so now I'm going to ask Lena's question. So how do you manage your time with painting, taking in commission works, and then social media? Because you need time to create those videos and stuff too, right? Yeah. So can you share with us how you structure it so that it can help people like us and artists like Lena and May as well?
Because I think this is a big learning for this. I just want to add to that, right? Yeah. Because we have all these excuses for people who say, I don't have time for this.
I don't have time. Yeah.
Right? Walk us through your day.
I don't know what to post, Yeah.
Well, just to give you an idea, last night I was wrapping paintings until 11:38 at night. So my day goes from, early in the morning until late at night. That doesn't mean that I'm working from 8 in the morning straight till midnight. I do take breaks in between my day, but because of the pandemic, we are on a shutdown here. We're going into another lockdown, I think starting today or tomorrow. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to do. I can't socialize with people that aren't in my bubble. So I have 2 people that are in my bubble, and that's it. And none of them live with me. So I have a lot of free extra time. I don't have children. I work all the time right now. So a typical day is I wake up in the morning and I wake up. Sorry, I'm reading the comment. I wake up in the morning, start my day with a coffee, and I answer as many YouTube questions as I can.
Wow.
And so I love doing that, though. It makes me feel like I'm not alone anymore, right? That
because you only have two people in your bubble, right? So this is great.
I know. I have a cat, but I can't have a conversation with her. So it's kind of given me something to look forward to. Every morning I wake up, I answer some questions, and then I get myself ready. I start painting about 9 or 10 in the morning. And if I'm having a good day painting, then I'll continue till about 3 o'clock. I'll take a little break in between, have some lunch. My lunch is usually, that's when I'll sit down and I'll take in a half-hour show of something funny or something light, or I'll YouTube something and learn something else, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the evening, if I can go back to painting, fantastic, but chances are that's not going to happen. And so that's when I'll either learn something, I'll go for a walk, I'll see one of the friends in my bubble. And it really, I feel like I'm in that Groundhog Day movie with Bill Murray.
Yes.
Same thing every day. So social media, this is how I plan out my social media, is every morning before I even get out of bed, I post my first post. That I spend my first half hour in bed where I'm just scrolling through, I'm answering comments, and I post my first post. Then I actually walk up here and I make my coffee, I sit down in front of my computer and I answer all my YouTube questions, and then I start painting. I do that every day of the week except for Tuesday. Tuesday is now designated as my YouTube film day. And then if I'll try and edit the video as well that night so that I'm ready for Wednesday morning for the release day. But yes, the YouTube channel, I did say to a couple of people in my last video, or to everybody, I guess, in my video, that it's a lot of work. And I have to really realize, like, is the YouTube channel worth it? And I love giving back, but I also have to remember I go back to my goal. What is my goal? My goal was to be a full-time artist. My goal was to create paintings and to fill my soul with that. But if something is taking away from that, then I have to reevaluate it. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Right. Okay. Love it.
You
so
are a machine. Yes,
you're a machine. The pandemic helps.
The pandemic helps.
Yeah. Okay. So May saying she follows you. Love it. And CA was saying he has no time. And I said, you need to get one of those 25-hour clocks. So he says you're on that 25-hour clock. So amazing routine, Lori. And we've got Hanisa who says, I'm the nocturnal mom who paints from 12 to 4 because that's when she can get some peace and quiet from the toddler kids. Aww.
That's cool.
There you go. Yep. Okay. So let's talk about creating content online. Yep. What kind of is it different content on YouTube and Instagram? How do you grow your audience, kind of thing?
Well, I think I'm still kind of like, especially with YouTube, I'm still in the learning phase. I know, like, I have a lot of followers, but that was a very quick thing that happened. So I'm still very much a newbie on there, and I'm still trying to find my way and understand what works for me and what works for everybody who's starting to follow me. And I think what seems to be coming through is there are a ton of painting channels already on YouTube, and I don't know if I can really add any more to that. And I'm not really about, I don't want to teach people how to paint like me. I think that does a disservice to people who are wanting to become artists. There's a huge distinction between creating art and having artistry. And I think when you are copying another artist or learning to paint like another artist, you are just an artist. You don't have artistry. And so I think I've decided that painting and showing tutorials of how I paint isn't really where I want to be. What I had to always take myself back to when I first started. What were my questions? What were my struggles? What did I wish I had back then? And what that came out with is, I remember going to my first show, applying to my first show and not having a clue as to what to do or where to look. And so through that, I think how my channel is changing is that I'm becoming like a mentor, business art coach about the business side of the art. And I think that's where I kind of excel. And I thought that I should maybe do it from that perspective. And also bring in some the work that I did before for 21 years. I think I'm embedding that into my YouTube channel, where I'm speaking to the person. I'm speaking about the whole person, about, you know, the effects of not feeling good enough or getting down on yourself and how you can turn that around. And I want to start, you know, kind of going into that a little bit as well when it comes to being an artist. And I think that comes natural to me. So I think that in the end, I always say, do what comes natural to you, because that will be less work. And not that I don't want you to work hard, but you know, when you're trying to do so many things, don't go against the grain, go with the flow, right? And so for me, just being myself and talking about how I can help you is my natural nature. And I think my YouTube channel is eventually, it's just evolving into that naturally. So content that is pretty basic, you know. People are really great about putting ideas in the comment section, like, hey Lori, I really want to know about this, or you think you can talk about this in your next YouTube channel. And so I just jot them down, and I keep them as a record of future things that I can look into and maybe talk about at a later date. So it's my community that is really helping me with my content.
All right, that's fantastic. So guys, if you're an artist and you want to learn about, you know, the business side of being and selling your paintings and stuff like that, you definitely want to follow Lori on the YouTube channel. Okay.
Yeah,
and definitely on Instagram as well. Make sure you follow. I think that's amazing. Now, there is one more thing. Do you get burnout? How do you come up with the ideas for content kind of thing? Don't you run out of ideas? And how do you not get tired and be burnt out?
I think the tired part is key, right? Because if you get to the point where you feel like this is a chore, that's going to come through in your videos, and people aren't going to connect with you anymore. So you have to put yourself in a space where this is something that you want to do. And I think for me, right now, once the pandemic lifts and hopefully we get a normal life again, I always joke about the fact that I'm just going to disappear. Nobody's going to see me because I'm living my life somewhere. But right now I feel like there's a purpose for me, and I love having a purpose. I love having something to do. And when I feel like I'm helping someone, I think it's pretty, I don't want to say it's easy to come up with content, but I think exploring the art world, there's so many different facets and so many different avenues that you can talk about or that you can bring to the channel and because I'm just starting out, I probably have enough channel ideas or enough video ideas to last me the next 6 months. And then after that,
for
I don't
Instagram?
know. Oh, for Instagram. Oh, okay. So I thought we were talking about YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Both.
Okay. Yes. This is
YouTube and Instagram. Yeah.
This is a question that keeps coming up on Instagram, is how do I come up with my content? Like how is it? A few people have said, well, I don't paint that fast. So there's no way I can have something to post every day. So this is my suggestion to them is, when you're creating a piece of work, you can take photos of that work in progress. There's multiple times that painting is going to change from beginning to end. So take photos of that. You can take photos of any new art supplies that you got. If you went to the art store, you can take photos that you're in an art store. You can also take photos of like your studio. People love seeing what studios look like, and take photos of yourself holding a piece of art. You can take photos of your art in different rooms of your house. Like to me, it's like, I always have to wonder, like, what do you mean you can't come up with ideas to post every day? Like, just Just take photos, take a whole bunch of photos. And at the end of the day, go through those photos and pick which ones you like. You know, on the days that you're painting, you're going to have more photos than the days that you're not. So stockpile it. Take a whole bunch of extra photos. A couple of people have said, you know, you should put content, like if you're going for a walk, take pictures of the flowers and I'm not about that, because that's just not me. I'm not, here I am walking and here's a beautiful bench or bird. It just doesn't fit, right? I always say that should be in your story. It shouldn't be on your feed. Your feed should just be what you're all about. And then your story is for all the little fun things that happen along the way.
Right. It's like behind the scenes, right? So May is asking, do you use story more or the new reels for your daily and work in process content?
So the reels is the new thing on Instagram. And this is, I think I'm going to talk about this in the next couple of YouTube videos, because reels are whenever Instagram puts out something that's new, like reels, they want you to use it and they will give you more priority over other people who aren't using it. And I'm not really good about using reels yet. But just to give an example, the other day I found some giclée prints. I'm totally spring cleaning because I was in a painting drought for the last 2 weeks. And so I tore apart my storage unit and I found a box of giclées that I just, because I stopped selling prints. I didn't think it was what I wanted for my brand. And I thought, well, I can't just throw these away. I might as well just try and sell them. And so I had posted them a few times on Instagram and I got like no traction. I don't know why. Instagram didn't like the photo and I got no messages on them. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try a reel. So I did a quick little reel and within probably 10 minutes, I sold 3 of them.
What? That was fast.
It was crazy.
Lori,
so, yeah.
Since you're already on reel, why not just go to TikTok directly? Because it's about the same thing.
It's their competitor to TikTok.
Yes, exactly. So when TikTok came onto the scene, Instagram was a little bit worried about that. You could tell, and they came out very quickly with reels.
Oh, very, yeah.
Everybody,
all these social media are insecure.
Yes, they are.
They come up with their own thing.
I know, right?
If you're already starting real, I think why not? Just go to TikTok.
Yeah. You just cross-post it.
I know.
Okay.
I haven't switched over to TikTok. I haven't. I try and stay away from TikTok.
It's very addictive, just to let you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing about reels, it appears directly on the Explore section.
Exactly.
That's what May is saying. Okay.
And that's because they want you to, when you realize that that's what happens, then you're more likely to use reels. And so Instagram is like really putting out the reel saying, come on, people, let's go, right?
Okay. Now, I do have a question to ask. What does it take to be successful on Instagram? What would be your tip to grow?
You have to post every day. If you want to be successful, to be successful on Instagram, is photos, number one, content, right? And posting every day. That's a must. And I get people, Nina, honestly, who message me saying, I was really active and I was really doing it. And then you look and you can see they only did it for maybe a week.
Yeah.
So it's long term. This is you have to play the long game.
To ladies and gentlemen who's listening to this, to all our students, please listen to this, to Lori on this.
It's called consistency, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Success doesn't come overnight.
Okay.
And the reason is
daily. Okay, daily. And we're only asking you to do Monday to Friday. That's it. But no.
Yeah. Because the thing about LinkedIn is just Monday to Friday, and you're actually being super consistent. So that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. So like YouTube came fast for me. That's not the norm. Okay. So
be like Lori. Our chatbot is saying, be like Lori. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah. Our chatbot has its own personality. Let's just put it that way. We bought it very cheap, so she or it bites you in the ass. Depends on her mood.
I don't know what I was going to say. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
There's something about Instagram and the following. Oh, I guess instead, this is how I also worked it too, is I didn't focus on all of them really hard. I just focused on Instagram. And I gained my following from Instagram. And then once you have your following on Instagram, you can just transfer that to any other of your platforms.
Thank you, Lori. Popcorn bot. Be like Lori. That's what we tell people.
You're telling me what to focus on one, but no.
Focus on one. Once you hit your critical mass, go to the other platforms.
Go to the others. It's simple. Just like that.
Good job, Lori. Did you get all this by Googling?
No, actually, that's just logical.
You know, a lot of people.
It's common sense. It's common sense. I know.
No, some people do not have common sense. They have house sense. Okay?
Common sense is so important.
Popcorn bot is saying, you see, build on one platform. Okay, and then
don't be greedy, guys. Without hits. Exactly.
Don't be greedy.
I'm sorry to cut this part and just do a quick.
I didn't say anything. That was Popcorn bot. Okay, what other tips and hacks do you suggest on Instagram that people don't know or take for granted?
Hashtags are so important. If you are a little Instagrammer, you need to use hashtags, and don't put your hashtag in your section where you like your description section. I don't want to see all your hashtag this. I want to see it in your comment section. So after you post your post, I always say that. How many times I'm going to say post your post? But after you post your post and you write your description, then go back in and on your comment, put in your hashtags. So that way it's clean, right? You don't see all these. And the more comments you get, your hashtags get pushed down to the bottom. So you don't even see them anymore. So that's a huge step. And the other one is don't think that you're like a superstar and that you're going to rank in the biggest hashtags out there. It's just not going to happen. So structure, go in and look at the hashtags you're using and see how many followers are in that hashtag. And if it's 6.9 million and you only have 500 followers, don't even use it. Pick the smaller ones. Start with the smaller ones so that you can start, so that you can get in the first 6. Is it 6, 9? So you can get in the first.
What's a good number of hashtags to kind of stand out?
30. You can add 30. And if you're just starting out, add them all.
Wow. Okay. All right. And Hanisa is saying, so it's either choose to focus on FB or LinkedIn or IG and LinkedIn. Basically focus on one and get really good at it. And then you'll figure things out and go across the other platforms.
Yeah. Because then when you get a good following on one, then you can say to your following, hey, I just started a YouTube channel. Why don't you come over there? And then next thing you know, you're monetized 2 months later or 3 months later.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going across all channel, you're a master of none. You're overstretching yourself and you don't become good at that one platform. You got to learn it and be really, really good. And then amass your following and then go to another one. Okay, got it? Yeah, kind of thing. Okay, very quickly, we're running out of time. I mean, any questions on your side?
Okay, I'm going back to the art side and also the business side of this. Okay. What will be your advice for all of these artists and creative people to start doing things? What will be the first few things that you would want to focus?
Actually, I want to add to that question. So, Lori, if somebody's just starting out, whether they're an artist, whether they have a new business, what would be the strategy to kind of the overall big picture and steps that they should take?
I think like if you don't have a business yet and you're wanting to start a business, the first thing I'm going to say is you have to be doing this because you love it, not because of wanting to do it for the money. And that's a huge thing. So make sure what you choose you're doing because that's what your calling is and that's what you're supposed to be doing. And then is setting goals. You have to set your goal every 5 years. Is have a plan of where you want to see yourself in 5 years. And then the next step is write out your steps to get to that 5-year plan. And then you have to revamp that, right? Revamp. Your goals are not static. They have to change as you change and as you evolve and as you learn new things. You may not have thought a certain goal was attainable. So you have to go back and relook at those goals. You should relook at your goals every year. Goals are important. You have to have goals. You have to have something to work towards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then learn, like study other people who are in your genre. So if you are a musician, if you are an artist, if you are a clothing designer, or if you are selling content or information, study the ones who are already there. Study the ones who have already made it. They are a wealth of information. And I don't mean by sending them a direct message and asking them for their information. I'm going to clarify that. I mean, study their platforms. What are they doing? How did they start? What information are they putting out? How are they doing it? Where are they putting it out? And then apply that to your own business and be inventive. Like, don't copy their stuff. Put your own authenticity on it, your own persona, I guess.
Spin on it, I guess.
Spin is another good word. I think that's really about it. I don't know if there's anything else I would add to. And then do the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about if it's in detail? Like, I'm a new artist and I want to go online and sell. What would be the steps? If you were to redo it again, what would the steps be?
Well, the steps, I think really what I said kind of applies to any platform you're using. That's exactly what I did when I first started. I first perfected the fact, like, if I hadn't painted abstract art, so I'm gonna actually paint first. So so I actually have a product that's sellable and nice to look at. You can also even like use that to create your channel, and that can be your persona. That's your story, is that you're learning. Hey, I just started to learn something new, and I want you guys to follow me in my journey. And I'm probably really going to suck at it, but I'm going to just keep trying. And I think that's an interesting concept, to watch somebody grow right from the start. And it's about being real. Like, your work may be horrible at the beginning, but as long as you know it's horrible, then everybody else is going to be, okay, it's horrible, but that's okay. She's learning, or he's learning. So I guess it's just get rid of the layer where you have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you.
Love it. There's so many comments coming in. This is amazing, Lori. Liana is saying hashtag works on comment section. It does its job instead of description. Yes. Yep. Honey says, saying people say love what you do what you love, and then you won't work a day in your life. Yeah, that's all I think. Okay, CA is also saying that you're very logical, analytical, and methodical traits of the left brain. Did you learn this, or it's innate?
This is the interesting part, right? Is I'm left-handed, which, I mean, it's a very simplified version of this, right? I'm left-handed. Technically, I use more of my right brain, but yet he is very correct that the analytical side comes from the other side of the brain. So I don't really know how I got all of this. I think I because I have this quest to learn information, I really paid attention a lot to my father. I mean, that's what kids do. And my dad was always doing something. He was learning how to build cupboards, or he was learning how to build houses. And then he was a landlord, and he had a full-time job at the same time. He was raising 5 children, trying to, deal with my mother and his mother at the same time, who lived under the same roof. And I think just watching him always being inventive and creative was interesting to me.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so you had such a great role model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead first.
I don't think he wanted this life for me. I think he they came from a place where be happy with what you have. Don't reach for the stars. Just be happy with what you have. And I didn't like that. It didn't fit with me. And so I rebelled against that line. And I think that pushed me. But again, when I go back to the analytical business side, I think this having the psychology background in the study of people and why they do the things they do have been an interest of mine from a very long time ago. And I think from that, I just took that and applied it to my business.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm just gonna add to what CA said, because the thing is, this whole left brain and right brain thing is actually not true. There's been a research finding from University of Utah that basically says there's no evidence within brain imaging that indicates that some people are right brain or left brain. So
and that's why I say it's very it's not so cut and dry where I'm left-handed, I use my right brain, and that's a very simplified. But I don't know if they've completely debunked it. I think there's still some truth to that. And I'm going to hold on to that because I like knowing I'm left-handed.
Because the thing is, because they say that when you're creative, right, then that means you're not analytical. I think that's not true, because you can see finance people being very creative in creative accounting. That's still creative, right? So that's how I see it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just know. To me, it's like know your strengths, and work within that.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm loving this interview.
I love Haley's question. Lori, what's the best mistake you've done?
I think the best mistake I've done is that I rebelled as a teenager. I really rebelled. I dropped out of high school. I still don't have a high school diploma. I mean, I really rebelled. I transferred high schools and forged my parents' signature to go to a different level. I did get a lot
caught of forging. One forge and I get caught.
I get caught once too.
The question is how many times?
I was forging my parents' signature in grade 5.
Wow. Wait, that was 11. You're good. You're good.
I was good. So I really I followed my own path, but I always had this line where I never crossed over and did illegal things or hurtful things. I was always the rebel who would run away from home but try and help somebody else who was in trouble.
Oh wow. So you were like a righteous superhero rebel.
Oh, I remember this is a very funny line. I was driving with my friends in a car, and we got into a car accident. A little boy had actually rode his bike right through the stop sign, and my girlfriend actually hit him on the bike. It was crazy. No. And I remember rushing out of the car, not knowing what I was going to see, but I instantly just went into action, right? And I got everybody calm. The little boy was fine. I had him lay down, but his brothers who had taken off, and that's why he was trying so hard to catch up to them, they finally came back, and I had everybody on the scene all calm, and I was talking to them all and asking their names. And I remember the little boy, he looked at me, he's like, "Oh my God, you're just like Oprah Winfrey." Because I just immediately jumped in, like, "How is your mom? Where's your mom? How can we get a hold of her? I just calmed them all down by just talking to them and interviewing." But I thought that was the funniest thing. You're just like Oprah Winfrey.
The comment, that's hilarious. Yeah. So right? Haley's saying you sound like you can't settle for safe.
No, I don't like safe. I don't. Yeah. I like safety when I'm driving on the highway. I am a girl about safety. That's very funny. But I do take risks in my personal life when it comes to my business, for sure.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So any last questions? Rapid fire, Amin?
Rapid fire. Okay. Let's go. Rapid fire.
Let's go. What's the biggest mistakes you see people make when they first start?
Oh, this is where now I have to pick out other people when they first start. I think when it comes to the art world, is they paint their first painting and they think it's worth $1 million.
Really?
I'm exaggerating a little
so
bit.
Bad.
I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Okay, that's so bad.
But they think their work. They think that their work is worth what an artist who is in a gallery or has been exhibiting for 10 years. Like, you can't just come onto the scene and price your work for $4,000. And what happens with that is the work doesn't sell. Okay. And then it's like 50% off or 75% off, and it just doesn't set you on the right foot of your brand, right? You don't want to be an artist with waving a big sign saying, 75% off or clearing everything else.
That doesn't look good, right?
No.
Okay, no. Haley, which question is that? Could you retype it? Lori, I do have a follow-up question to that. Why do you think they price it like so high? Is it because they're delusional or what? What's going on? I'm just wondering.
I don't know why people do that. And it's not like I see this all the time, but I think their expectations, people think that it's just really easy to break into the art world, and that if you can do it, I can do it. There's no difference between your work and my work, but I think I always call it a pedigree. It's not like, that's not the actual term for it. And if anybody knows the actual term for it, please write it. But I think you have to have a list of achievements. The more achievements you get, the more value your work goes up. And so you can't just come onto the scene and think that you're going to make $1 million. It just doesn't work that way. But there's always the exception to the rule, right? There's always someone who gets promoted in social media or knows somebody who knows somebody, and the next thing you know, they're famous, right?
Right. Okay.
There's always that exception.
Okay, Haley, we actually already asked the question, the best mistake, and she answered to be rebellious, right? That's how the whole conversation about rebelling started. Okay, May is asking, how do you price your work? At the beginning.
In the beginning, I priced it cheap. And I priced it cheap because I was a nobody. I was still learning. And so my whole intention was just to be able to sell my work so that I can make money to buy more art supplies, so that I could keep learning how to paint better and better and better. So it wasn't about making money at that time. And I also had the idea that the more I sold, the more people would start to take notice of me. And so I sold them for cheap. And it worked, because that year I sold over 200 paintings, and I did actually make money, which was great. But then it helped me to pay off all my bills, to put me in a good financial position to grow and expand my business. And then I slowly started to increase my prices. I always say, like, art should be a little bit about like supply and demand. So if there's a big demand for your work, then you can start to charge more. If you're having trouble keeping up with the amount of paintings that are selling, then that's the place or the time to increase your prices.
That's so good. That's such a very basic way of looking at things, right? Yeah. And this doesn't just apply to paintings. This also applies to like me as an MC or whatever skills you have, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of thing. Yeah, definitely.
It's so basic. It's everything, actually. Yeah. This goes to if you are a trainer, a coach, everything.
Yes, everything.
Yeah.
I have a former colleague that follows me as well, and she watches all my YouTube video, and she's a yoga instructor. So she keeps saying, all of the things that you're talking about, I easily can apply to my own business. And so there's really not, it doesn't make a difference as to what you're selling or what you're promoting. The steps are really all the same.
Okay, cool. Next question. What's the one top advice you wish someone gave you when you first started?
Oh, it's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. The top advice. That you didn't need to.
That you wish someone gave you.
I wish someone would have told me in the beginning that the artist statements. This is a big one for artists. Like, I always thought that I was not good enough, or I wasn't an artist, because I didn't have that art lingo that you would hear, critics talk about, like how they speak about work and the translucency of this painting and how you reflected off the light and bounce and reflect. And I'm like, I don't even know what you just said. And I thought that because I couldn't do that, that I would never make it in the art world. And I also wish that someone would have told me that when somebody is asking you, tell me about this artwork, tell me about this painting, I would freeze. I would panic going, and so then I would kind of try and make up a story or something that they wanted to hear. And I wish somebody would have told me that all they really want to know is about me and how I painted the piece. Like it's a very it's a very simple answer. Like when someone
I would have thought,
right?
I would have thought it's some intellectual discussion. Oh, this is about da 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 da. You gotta go deep.
I know. I thought you had to go deep. And sometimes my pieces are not that deep. It's just about me having fun and playing. And I thought that if I shared that they wouldn't think my work was valuable. And so again, I think I really would have learned or wanted to know in the beginning that authenticity is more important than anything else.
Right. Okay. That's so true. I have a question. What is this NFT fuss?
The non-fungible something T, NFT, non-fungible T. I can't remember what the T stands for. I'm just starting to learn a little bit about it, and I'm not exactly. It has to do with Bitcoins too. So the whole the Bitcoin market, and so people are selling their digital art on this secondary market, and they're purchasing it with Bitcoin. So
right, non-fungible token. That's what somebody's
tokens.
saying.
That's it.
I don't even understand what that is. Like, what is that?
Well, there's a whole bunch. Like Bitcoin is just one avenue, but there's a whole bunch of different kind of monetary secondary money things. So, and I'm not into that, but I know that there's like. I keep getting messages from all my friends saying NFT, you got to do some NFT, but truthfully, NFT art is digital art. Those are digital computer artists. That's not me. I don't know how to digitally draw or make something that's interesting online. And some of them are beautiful. Like it actually looks like a landscape, but it's digitally created. And that doesn't mean that I took a photo of the landscape and uploaded it online. That's not the digital creation we're talking about here, but
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
so what are your thoughts on that then?
I think that the museums and the galleries are starting to take notice of it is interesting, which means that this could potentially start to go someplace. What I do like about it is the whole blockchain system. It keeps the information there forever. And so the provenance of a painting is what makes that painting valuable over time. And the blockchains capture all of that information. And so that part for me is kind of interesting. So for me, like if I knew if I was selling a painting and I can actually set that I would like, this is the one thing about the art world that I never liked is if you acquire one of my paintings and I become super famous, you decide to sell that painting for $10 million because that's now what I'm worth. You're going to get that money, not me.
Okay.
Right?
So it's not licensable.
Yeah, I got maybe $6,000 for that painting, but you turn it around because now I'm famous and sell it for 10 million. So for the NFTs, you can actually, as an artist, set that you want a royalty from that sold artwork. So every time you decide, or every time that one painting sells, I can set a price that I want 25% of the profits.
Okay.
So that's the interesting part, I think, about NFT art for artists, like musicians and their
they got their copyright, right?
They get a royalty back from every time somebody wants to use that work, but artists have never been able to capture that. So this is a way for artists. Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah.
So that for me is interesting. So I'm going to start to keep digging into that to see
but
keep my eye on it.
But does it have to be digital? Can't it be like a real life painting and therefore you sell it using crypto? But then I guess it's no longer NFT. I don't know.
That's the glitch part that I haven't been able to find out enough information on.
Okay.
So there are some sites that I read that it can actually be a physical product, but then I don't know how the blockchain works with a physical product. So just be a photo, I guess, of it. I don't know.
Okay. So I think we're at the end of our session. We've learned so much. This has been one of the most interesting interviews ever. I do have one more question. Lori, what is next for you? What does the future hold?
The future holds. I'm actually I'm relocating next year to a small town of about 4,000 people. I'm actually leaving the big city. Yay!
Wow. Okay. And where is this?
It's just
so we can
outside.
Find you?
Yes, it's just outside Ottawa. I'm actually building a studio on my sister's property. Down the road. So her and I are going to do some work together, and I can't wait to have a large studio to work in. And then we're going to.
This is going to be Is this going to be a tiny home? Because I'm addicted to those on YouTube. I'm just wondering.
It's not going to be a tiny home. No, it won't be a tiny home. At least maybe where I live will be tiny, but the studio will be large. And so we're going to see. We're going to kind of take it day by day and see what comes out of being together. And she's going to start helping me with the business. So I think that's going to be interesting. But I came to the big city. I conquered it. And now I'm out.
Right. Okay. All right. I think that sounds fantastic. You got your bucket list, because that's what, I always tell people, no, wait, I can't die yet. I haven't reached there yet. I haven't achieved this, on my deathbed. I'll be like, no, I can't die, kind of thing. But yeah. So if you loved this session, I mean, they're saying, Lori, you're very engaging, genuine, lively. Jane does the Heritage Walk in Malaysia. Mm-hmm. When you come over to Malaysia, we'll definitely send you over. She's got virtual walks as well. So let us know. We'll hook you up with her. And thank you so much. We learned so much. What's the biggest thing that you guys learned? Let us know in the comment section. I mean, what was the biggest thing you learned today? In
whatever business you are in, you need to be online.
Yeah,
that's it. The fundamental of the whole business is still the same, no matter where you are. Either you're coach, trainer, artist, at the end of the day, it's the same. Right. Yep. So guys, just clicking start. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Everything that you said is everything that we told our students, put yourself in front of the camera, good photos, market yourself, increase your content daily, connecting with people and put yourself in the photo. That's what we say. And look at at one point you're going to go multiple streams of income, and it's about giving back, and engaging with people. So it's amazing. And we're learning from you, and you sell paintings online. Who would have thought, that there's so many similarities. Yeah.
There's one more thing that Lori highlighted. Guys, do something that you love to do.
Yes, that is so true. Okay.
At the end of the day, that's it. That's the one that matters.
POPCON Bot also has a learning, focus, and kill your inner excuse. Woo. POPCON Bot is being a badass today. I think they're rebelling or something. Okay. And May saying you rock. Thank you. Had so much fun watching and learning from you. Okay. Can hashtag in comment section. Yes, that's what they learned. Master One Platformers. It's true. Master One Platformers. Definitely. Thank you so much, Lori. We had so much fun today. You've taught us so much. It's amazing. And I think we kind of went pretty long in this episode. Yeah.
I thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. It was a lot of fun for sure.
Thank you. Keep in touch, because we would love to hear what you get up to. And once you get to Ottawa, I don't know how to pronounce it. Lena is saying thank you so much. Ottawa. Okay.
One more thing I'd just like to add. I think when you are ready for this, we would love to see you on LinkedIn, because I think you're going to kill it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Let us know. We can support you in any way. You
Awesome.
have us. Yeah. We'll give you some information and stuff.
It's almost like non-visible. It's like almost no one is there.
No-brainer for you. There'll be a no-brainer for you.
Awesome.
It's super easy. Yeah. Okay. And guys, please make sure you follow Lori. You know, she's got her website and then her Instagram and YouTube. It's all in the comment section on LinkedIn and also on Facebook. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we're gonna move it out. All right. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. All right. So I need to make sure I'm in shot. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Before we go, just let's quickly recap what's happening for the rest of the month. We are building Southeast Asia's business influences. If this is something that you would love to learn, you want to position yourself in, here is some of the things that's coming up. 5th April, Monday, on Authority on LinkedIn, we're going to show you how to get leads using our content attraction strategy. On the 6th, which is the next day, on Tuesday, Popcorn Bites is back with network marketing coach #1 on Google in this region. Keanu will share with you networking and storytelling, converting connections and content into profits and not spamming people. On the 8th, we're going to be talking to Nadine Joy, who'll be sharing strategies for leaders on how to uncover your purpose, heal, and share your gifts with the world. And then on 12th, we're going to be back at the training Secret Client Journey. We're going to feature one of our students and how she rose from the ashes, kind of like a phoenix from the ashes in some Harry Potter film or something after her world came crashing during the pandemic. And on the 15th of April, we've got Geeta Kandaya back. She's the ASEAN IP expert to talk about content. If you're copying from the internet, if you're doing it, what to do if you're accidentally doing it, how to get out of it, kind of thing. All right. So if that sounds fantastic, follow us on all our social media. We had such an epic time. We hope you guys learned so much. We definitely did. And yeah, that's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, and have an awesome night in the rest of the week.
Have a good week.
I'm Nina, signing off.
And I'm signing off. This is our 48 video. See you again soon. Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.